Salve YouTube, and welcome to another Total War Rome 2 online battle video. Today we're going to be looking at some steppe factions here, some nomadic tribe faction action. Wow, that rhymed. This is like, maybe in the last 30 battles that I've had online, this is the battle that is not corrupted. And I was so happy that this one, out of all the ones I've had such good battles, guys, but I haven't been able to bring them to you just because the battle replay system is so bad right now that most of the games are broken. But thankfully, this one seems to be working fine. I'm going to pause the game here because it's actually a pretty quick start, and there's going to be tons of tactical analysis that we're going to get into. So first and foremost, this is on Carthago. Carthago is nice and flat. There are hills and bumps that you can use to get good charges, and there are nice kind of like chokes and natural barriers that make horse archer factions and just cav factions in general really great to play with. So I've brought something that I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at all in nomadic factions, neither in history, in real life, nor in the way they were armed, nor in really the way you play them competitively in Total War Rome 2, or even in single player. I never really got into them, but recently I have been, and in the last Beta Flash tournament, Beta Flash number 64, Partis Falvius Ancient Warrior, our newest recruit, managed to win that tournament using Massagetae against Rome. And after that, I thought, okay, let me try something similar to what he brought. But I went, I'm not really tournament safe here. This is a ladder army. It's built to counter lots of the cheese that you can fight and play against in this patch. So it's got 5 units of these steppe horse archers. These guys are great, 390 talents only. They've got heavy shot, they've got Cantabrian circle, they've got circle, they've got a precision shot, and they've got flaming arrows. So very good utility unit. 5 of those because I want them to kind of be like my meat shield. They're going to be the thing that absorbs my enemy's missile, and my enemy is playing with the Scythians. I've got 7 units of Saca Cataphracts, and I know that might be a little bit too much, but this is actually tournament safe because sometimes they tell you the general is excluded from any cav rules. So 7 shock cav in total, and really the best and my favorite unit in this factions lineup is the Saca Cataphract horse archers. These guys are MFing deadly, guys. They're so deadly. They've got 90 armor, they've got 100 health, and they've got 70 base morale. And I don't know why I didn't really see or experiment with these guys before, but you're going to see a bunch of nomadic faction kind of playstyle here in the days to come while I'm having my December break. And I hope you guys are having a good holiday season and you're spending a good time with your families or your loved ones. So yeah, that's great. So yeah, 3 of those, and they can take punishment so well. They've got 15 ammunition, and they also have Cantabrian circle with heavy shot. So that's really what you want to have. I'm facing a Royal Scythian army. The Scythians, I find that they are so bulky. They're just so difficult to kill. All their units have such good hit point and armor values. My opponent has brought a bunch of Scythian Royal Horse here, and you can see decent melee stats, pretty good defense, really high armor, really high health, really high morale, and they've got freaking ram's horns on their horses. You can't go bad with that, guys. Square shields and ram's tusks, or whatever you want to call them, on their horses. That's just fantastic. His general is one of them. He has 4 units of Royal Horse Archers, and again, these guys are pretty heavily armored. 60 armor puts them just a little bit lower than my Saca Cataphracts here, but they're still very formidable cav, and I think my opponent has 2 more units that we're going to see eventually. So let's go ahead and take a zoom out and back quickly, a zoom in right here. I'm charging uphill. It's not great, but I want to make sure that his units don't have free roam. I want to get the good charge, and I want to hit them as soon as possible because they were static there, and I saw an opportunity, and I took it. Bringing my general around. I'd get a pretty bad charge actually with my general here. I should have lined up and then charged. Instead, I was kind of too focused on trying to get my my horse archer kind of hordes here in line. So here they are. And now I'm going to go into Cantabrian Circle, and I'll explain to you how Cantabrian Circle works. Again, slow-mo. So there's lots of fighting happening here, and actually let's look at slow-mo fighting while talking about how Cantabrian Circle works. You'll see it there in the background. This is a cool cinematic shot. So Basically, Cantabrian Circle allows your units to fire and move in a circle, and if you're high armored like the Saka Horse Cataphracts, things are just gonna bounce off you. You're not gonna get hit. That's one. But when you put a unit in Cantabrian Circle, it can't move. It can only react with skirmish mode on. If you turn skirmish mode on, the AI will kind of move the circle slowly and surely away from your enemy. It's not enough to run away from enemy cav, it's only enough to run away from like regular infantry. So you kind of have to move your troops to the place you want them to set up their Cantabrian Circle, put them on Cantabrian Circle, and turn skirmish mode on. This will mean that the circles will start to veer away and from any kind of threat that comes towards them, and this is actually a really good sign for you to micro. When you see that your units are kind of moving away, you see, oh, okay, something must be threatening them, and eventually you'll look there and you'll realize, oh, it's an enemy cav unit. You select it and then you run out of there. So that's, I hope that was kind of clear enough. They're pretty micro intensive to get to work, but once you do get them working, they're deadly. So right now I'm just doing them. Notice that my opponent was fighting me initially, so he did a smart thing. He forced me into Cantabrian Circle, and then he pulled away to the main fight where he's going to start shooting at the backs of my men. There were 2 units of steppe lancers here that came around the mountain, and I actually pulled my general away because I didn't want him to get charged by those guys. So that was a really actually good move. But now I throw my general into the midst of these units here, and this is pretty bad because with the loss of my general is going to mean that my units are going to be very low on morale, and all of my steppe horse archers are basically going to start routing very fast. Only 30 base morale on those guys. They need a general alive to do anything. And I guess that kind of analogs to how you know, steppe tribal culture was. So that's kind of cool. So here I'm moving, I stop, and now I initiate Cantabrian Circle, and we're gonna start dishing major amounts of damage. This is, you're talking about 7 units of horse archers here. They're going to absolutely decimate lots of units. They're gonna start racking up the kills here. 16 kills already. 16 kills, 16 kills. These guys hadn't gotten many kills really because they haven't fired. They're gonna be moving up. See, I'm moving them up. I move up and I initiate Cantabrian Circle, and then they start rotating. So here they are. Now we're just kind of tickling their fancies. We're kind of shocking them a little bit with a little bit of ammo, wasting a little bit of ammo, getting some kills, softening them up. And at this stage, all of my Sata Cataphracts routes, and it looks pretty desperate for me, but I'm not going to give up. I still have lots of my shitty steppe. They're not shitty. That's pretty bad way to call them. My mediocre, at best, steppe horse archers, and or steppe horse archers, and I'm gonna use them as kind of, I guess, buffers, or maybe you'd like to call them meat shields or something, to kind of soften up the shock for my more expensive Saka Cataphracts that I've now moved to the back. So the auto-targeting, if my opponent is using auto-targeting, the auto-targeting is now going to select these units that are closest to it. So I'm pulling that out. And you can see now that my opponent is going to start an initiative, and I see that instantly, and now I need to fall back. This is something that you need to be very aware of. When you're using Horse Archer and Cav Micro, your Micro is going to need to be like double the speed of your like regular Micro. You need to be alert, because these units get caught very easily, and you have to be toggling skirmish mode on and off to get the unit to do what you want. So here, for example, these units for me, they're on skirmish mode. They're doing this thing on their own. I don't really need to worry about them. These ones on the side, these ones here, these ones are off. I turn them off of skirmish mode, and I force them back, because if they are on skirmish mode, they'll get caught. So I'm falling back. These guys now are still on skirmish mode, but look how I'm running them side by side with my guys, and they're actually shooting into this blob of units here, and they're killing it, and they're routing it. And this is how you skirmish. You run away with a target. Usually your target is actually smaller than your main force, but sometimes it switches. So you can see my opponent was targeting my bigger part of the army, and I kind of run them away and rotate around. And I'm going to be doing the same thing now. Now he is poised on this one. He's thinking these are the targets, so I'm going to run them away and chase. Here we go. See, I'm going to pull them away here, and I'm chasing with these ones. If he decides to try to cut me off this way, great, I fire. If he doesn't, I push harder on the right. And see, I'm kind of leading him towards these guys. These guys are running uphill, taking shots behind their backs. They're getting uphill advantage with their arrows. And look at how I'm isolating my opponent's army. I forced this guy to be on his own. These guys are so far away because he's needed to micro this guy so hard just to keep him alive, or maybe try to chase. So again, good micro isn't micro that requires you to do lots of actions. It's the micro that requires you to do what you need to do with the least amount of actions possible. That's what I define as good micro. So I'm giving, one command at a time. I don't want to spam it. When you spam it, sometimes your unit stutters, especially if it's in skirmish mode. And again, all of these guys are off of skirmish mode right now because I need these quick changes in direction to throw my opponent off. I need those. And now I'm going to show you the whole target and rotate thing I'm talking about. Oh no, I think I commit with a charge here. Yeah, see, I go in with my Sakas. And I thought it would do a little bit more charge, a little bit more damage, but I figured, whatever. Maybe this will entice his main body to come towards me, and I really want this at this point in time. But he's still not moving. He's still stationary. But I think soon he's gonna realize that he's gonna need to go there to support his units. There you go. He's realized he's far away enough, and this is what I want. The reason I want this is now I'm going to start. He is going to have to micro, instead of 2 units, he's gonna have to micro 2 plus 6 units. So essentially, his micro went what, 4 times more? So that's like 400% more. He was microing 2 units, and now he's going to be forced to use 8 units. I've been microing 6 units for a while now. So the micro is pretty up there for me. I'm pretty focused. They're still not, most of them are still not dead. These are little units that are getting stuck. And there we go. This is what I want. I want to force this so I can start cleaning up. So now I'm pulling my target away, and look how I'm going to chase with this flank. And all the meanwhile, while this is happening, I'm making sure that everyone's in range. See, I'm trying my hardest to bring him in range, more in range. I want all of my units to be in range of 1 unit at a time and prioritize it. And if you can really work with the AI always targets the unit that's closest to you. So if you can use that to your advantage sometimes. So here we go. Now he's coming towards me. I'm gonna pretend to set up like some kind of line, pulling back, forming like a little line. And look, see, he's now again trying to micro units at a time. You can see how his micro was this. So his micro is spread out now. And I'm gonna take advantage of this. I'm gonna bring these guys this way and pull these guys. See, I'm using these guys as kind of like a barrier now. And I'm gonna flip these guys around them. He's gonna start chasing here, and I'm gonna switch again. So that's how you skirmish. You present a front to your opponent. If they take the bait, great. You pull back and you flank with the other flank. Flank with the other side or the other half of your army. And if they don't respond, well, great, you're just shooting them. And now look what happens here. His units are getting pelted. The general falls. And with the fall of the general, there's just too much morale cost. And you can see how he just cannot catch me in this situation. I'm just going to keep doing this, and as long as I am on point with my micro, and as long as I'm switching skirmish mode on and off to suit me, and fire at will on and off to suit me, I should be fine. Key things to notice in this battle is the ammo management. It's something that I really didn't have much chance to talk about because it's really difficult to tell about arrow management. Even though I played that battle, it's kind of hard to tell you, oh, I switched I switched fire at will on here or fire at will on there. But the best advice that I can give you is when you want to use fire at will control, always think about how many units are in the place that you're about to shoot at. So if they're blobbed up, great. That's a great time to let the AI do fire at will. But if you're kind of chasing little tiny units around, you don't really want your entire archer force to be firing at it. You only want maybe 2 of them to be fire at willing, 3 of them to just be running away and grabbing the attention of the target that you want to hit. And then you'll kill it down, and you saw this many times in this battle where I kind of pulled little chunks of my opponent's army off of him. And then targeted them were 2 or 3 units and used the other 3 as bait. And you just keep doing that. It's really a dance. And again, I'll do more and more builds and more battle replays, hopefully, if they can stay fixed for once. I'm really waiting for the next patch for Rome 2 because it's difficult to work with this at the moment, and it's difficult to play, and it's difficult to find the spark because there's so many things that are that need balancing right now. That's a nice way to put it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Remember to leave me a like and a comment. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you think I said something wrong. Maybe you have a comment tactically about the battle. Or maybe you just have a suggestion on something you want to see on the page. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, and happy holidays.